What is up, my anime watching brethren? Today is Valentine's Day, and y'all know what we are here to do. We are here to talk about some Valentine's Day anime because we don't have anybody to spend Valentine's Day with. We on our own, bro, so let's bang it out together. Whoa. Did not mean to say bang it out. I meant to say let's hang out together and discuss some anime. Now, last year I put out a video for Valentine's Day where I talked about 5 romance anime that fit the vibe for Valentine's. Not gonna do that this year because I could talk about romance anime all day until I turn blue in the face, but it's not like y'all actually care about that shit. But we actually gonna talk about our 5 ships in anime that we all wish that we could have, but instead we are stuck watching anime about it. So let's get into it and be sad and lonely together, fellas. So, some housekeeping rules before we get into this list. I'm only going to talk about anime objectively. I'm not going to talk about them opinion-based, even though this is kind of ranked based on my opinions. We are going objectively based on couples and relationships that actually work inside of the show and that show progression and help the characters become better people. You know, what a relationship is supposed to do for you. So, just know that going into these are my opinions, but these are also just objectively the best relationships that I could possibly think of inside of anime. So, now we're ready to get into it. So we're going to go ahead and start our list off with Kakeru Naruse and Naho Takamiya from the Orange series. Never talked about the Orange series on here, so I'm pretty pumped up to give it a shot. So Orange is about a group of kids that write letters from the future to themselves in the past, which just creates a separate timeline instead of actually, you know, changing the future. And what they do is they write letters to basically tell them the mistakes that they made, what they can do better, and they wanted to make sure that they looked out for one of their classmates that came in and might have done something bad to himself, Kakeru Naruse. So Naho Takamiya actually kind of has a little bit of a crush on him, and when her future self writes and tells her that she needs to like talk to him and be friends with him because she likes him and she let him down and let him hurt himself and she felt bad for it. So the entire show is Naho trying to make sure that she keeps Kakeru from doing something he's going to regret and finding out that she really does like him and she has a connection with him and she wants to be with him. Now, even though this show, they don't really make each other better people, it's really the future people that make the past people better people. It does show you that a good relationship can conquer all. I mean, literally, loving somebody so much can help your future self help your past self out to make sure that you fall in love with that person and stay with that person forever. I don't think that's what I was supposed to take out of that anime, but that's what I took out of it. And I hope that one day I love somebody so much that I write my past self a letter to my future self. No. My future self writes a letter to my past self. Yeah. Next one. Next we got Hikaru Tsutsui and Aroha Igarashi from 3D Kanojo Real Girl. I just made a video about 3D Kanojo Real Girl and I put it out a little while ago. Y'all should go check that out. But if you want the full in-depth spoiler analysis, here it is. So 3D Kanojo Real Girl is really simply just an anime about 2 high school students that fall in love with each other. You start your story off with Tsutsui, who is our main character, and he is the stark opposite of Aroha Igarashi. But when he's around her, he finds out that he can make himself better based off of what she wants because that is what a good boyfriend is supposed to be. This really does create a great dynamic for the characters where you see Tsutsui, who's kind of a neat and just wants to stay home and play video games and hang out with his friend with kitty cat ears. And you have Aroha Igarashi, who isn't really a slut but kind of has some tendencies of a slut inside of the school and doesn't really care about anything until she gets with Tsutsui and finds out that there are other things to care about than your own self-image. Now, at the beginning of the show, Tsutsui has no interest in love, thinks that it's stupid, and thinks that anybody that does normal people things is just adhering to some kind of cultural appropriation that they feel like they have to. So he actively tries not to do anything that normal people do, and he calls them normies. On the other hand, you have Aroha Igarashi, who has never taken anything serious because she just doesn't care enough about anything and just decides to kind of live her life as a free spirit. But as the show goes on, you see Aroha Igarashi take this huge turn from somebody that doesn't care about anything to somebody who's willing to literally stand up to her brother, tell people in her life, you're not going to do this because I want to be with this person, I want to make my own decisions and stay with them. That's dope, and I love that. Also, you see Tsutsui go from somebody who doesn't want to be normal and do normal people things to like actually trying to plan out a date that Iroha is gonna like. He wants to do something that she wants. He tries to make her happy, and he realizes that his social inability and his ineptness at any kind of social activity is like hindering their relationship and making it harder for them to work as a couple. And he goes way more mature throughout the show. Honestly, this is one of the best relationships in anime because both characters grow immensely from it. Next, we move on to BeatsByremy and Koko Kaga from Golden Time. So this is one of my other favorite shows because I really have a thing for orange-haired anime girls, and Koko Kaga is the perfect orange-haired anime girl. Now the way that this one starts off is they're both in college. BeatsByremy is going to a college, it's a law college, and he meets a dude and he's like, I don't have any friends, let's kick it. Dude's like, yeah, let's kick it. And then Koko Kaga busts out of a limousine and smacks him in the face with a bunch of flowers and says something like, we'll be together one day or something like that. And now Tada's like, who is this crazy woman and what the hell did I just get myself into? But the story progresses so much further that Coco ends up going to the same college as them, trying to get close to the guy that Tada's trying to be friends with. Tada starts to get a little bit of a crush on Coco, and Coco has to relieve that she's never going to be with that guy, and she starts to use Tada as just like a rebound. And then Coco starts to fall for Tada. It's a really dramatic show, and I think it does a lot for both characters. Tada lost his memory when he was in high school, and so because of that, he tries to find himself, and he tries so hard to figure out who he was, not realizing that who he is who he can always be. He doesn't have to find out who he was to be who he is, if that makes sense. And he also finds out that if being who he was means that he can't be with Coco, then he'd rather just be who he is and be with Coco because that's who makes him happy. And then on the other hand, Coco, who is somewhat like a spoiled heiress princess type person, decides that she wants to be with Tada so bad that she's willing to change her ways and admit that she wants to be with him and admit that she doesn't know what she's doing just to make him happy and be with him. And she does everything possible for him, which is almost a complete 180 from her actual character type. This is a really dope relationship because you get to see the layers behind these characters unfold slowly as they get to know each other and as they start to realize that they want to be with each other. So yeah, there's another good one. Next we got Life is Hard for Otaku. We have Hirotaka and LOVRemy. And so the way that this one kind of starts out is it's LOVRemy gets a job at a firm, and at this firm she doesn't want anybody to know that she's into anime and figurines and boy on boy love. So she tries her hardest to keep it hidden from everybody, but she finds out that one of the guys that works there, Hirotaka, is actually somebody that she went to high school with, so he knows exactly how she is. Now the way she kind of starts off the show is she doesn't want anybody to know that she's into these things, so she does everything possible to try to shut Hirotaka up and keep him from spoiling all the stuff, and she talks about how she wants a normal relationship, but she wants to keep her abnormal activities on the side. Hirotaka tells her that that's stupid, and lo and behold, they decide to go out. Now, they're deciding to go out, but they don't really know what going out is for each other because Hirotaka has never had a girlfriend and he just wants to play video games and be a NEET and go to work. And then LOVRemy has had a bunch of boyfriends, but she's always done normie activities with those boyfriends, so she doesn't know how to be with somebody that's into the things that she's into. The great character depth inside of this story is the fact that these two characters are like basically one and the same. They like to do nerdy, abnormal things, yet they can't come together on it because they're not used to being able to share it with other people. Well, LOVRemy at least. Hirotaka really doesn't care one way or the other. This show is so cool because you get to see them go out and do things with other people that enjoy the same things as them. They go out and they have drinks, they go out and they talk about work. They have problems that are real problems that need to be solved. And then on top of all of that, they have to make this progression as characters to where LOVRemy understands that what makes the relationship fun is that they can be themselves around each other. And Hirotaka starts to come out of his shell a little bit and he's not so just quiet, reserved, and neat. NEET. For anybody that doesn't know what NEET is, it's just somebody who likes to sit inside and play video games all day. So yeah, Watakoi or Life is Hard for Otaku is really, really cool, and it's a lot of fun to watch, and it really brings you in. If you're somebody who likes like nerdy stuff like I do, like reading manga, watching anime, playing video games, like stuff of that nature, then watching this show really gives you hope that there's somebody out there for you. So yeah, next one. Last one on this list, we're going to go ahead and talk about Yato and Hiyori from the Origami series. This is my first time ever talking about Origami on this on my channel, and I'm excited to talk about it because Origami is one of my favorite shows ever. So Origami is about a god of war named Yato who, you know, went around killing a bunch of gods and killing a bunch of demons and stuff like that. And he decided to put that past behind him, and he doesn't want to do that anymore. He wants to be an actual god with a shrine and devotees who devote themselves to him. So he decides to start answering requests, and he answers a request from Hiyori, who I believe is depressed and suicidal in the series. So he answers her request, gets rid of her demon, and kind of just continues to run into her. And then she sort of dies, but she's just like kind of a ghost, and her ghost self comes out, and then it goes back into her body, and Yato's the only one that can help her fix it and solve it and all that other stuff. And so through this plot device, they end up actually getting a lot closer, and it's not so much of a relationship as much as it is a really, really, really strong friendship with romantical end ties. What's dope about their relationship is that Yato's never really had a friend or a companion or a devotee or any of that because he's always been a war god. So now that he has Hiyori, he knows what a friendship and a companionship feels like, and he knows what it's like to have somebody who's devoted to him. And Hiyori starts the series off as kind of just Well, as I said, she was depressed and she's aloof of his existence. She really doesn't care one way or the other, and he kind of angers her. But by the end of the first season, she makes him a little shrine and she considers herself a devotee to him. And you can really start to see the companionship between the two start to come together, and it almost feels like a romantic relationship. But the show is heavily centered around the action and around Yato as a god, so I don't think they're ever actually going to delve into the romance part of the relationship. But it is really nice that they have it, and it's really cool for the show because it's a nice aspect aside from the action that you can focus on. So those were 5 super dope anime ships that you should go check out. Check out any of those 5 shows. They're all dope, they're all amazing, and I promise you, you cannot go wrong with any of them. You will enjoy every second of them. That's it for me on this Valentine's Day. I hope y'all have a great Valentine's Day. I hope you guys have a lot of people in your life that love you, show you love, and will do anything for you, because that's what this is meant for. This Valentine's Day is meant to show love to the people that you love, whether that's a relationship, your mom, your dad, your grandma, whoever. Show them some love. That's it for me, y'all. I'm out on Valentine's Day. I love you. Peace.
Tryna be nice, baby you nice, but it ain't right, it ain't gon' work, I ain't gon' fight. Hey. Tryna be nice, take no chance, I'm holding my dice. I'm not cold, but I'm sipping on ice. Hey. It's gon' be all cool, I do not want you, I just don't wanna be rude. You ask, do I think you cute? You so sweet like fruit, but I don't think that's true.